Aloha, offline sharks. Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis. I got my business partner, Nick Ponte, and the amazing Mr. Paul James on here as well. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the live show. You guys look so bright, and I look so, yellow. What is the deal with that?
We are bright. Gosh. That's all.
I don't know. You guys have bright light. I'm looking yellow. Anyway. Hey, look, we have a really great show lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking about Google My Business and local SEO. Even though it's not called Google My Business anymore, we'll talk about that a little bit. Paul's going to share some great stuff with you, some things they're doing in his agency, and his students are doing great success. You guys are going to love it. Go grab something cool to drink, or I don't know, now it's getting hot. Maybe grab a hot cocoa with some marshmallow on it. Maybe a little, what is it that goes in there? A little Baileys. Well, things like that, right?
Peppermint.
A little cream. Or a little, I don't know if you're like me, maybe a little Jägermeister in your coffee.
What?
Just kidding.
He's gone mad.
Yeah, just kidding. Right,
Vegas is changing him.
Yeah, I'm going to cue up the intro.
Paul and I aren't even old enough to drink yet. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. You young kids, I don't know what to do anymore, Me surrounded. All right, I'm going to cue up the intro, and we'll see you back here in a minute, and we'll get this show on the road.
Fastest 60 minutes of strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Now, back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
I almost got the other room. Hear the applause out there, Paul?
Is that what that is?
You ready to go? Yeah, listen. The crowd is going wild. There they are. Yeah.
I love that intro.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
You do have to be 18 to be a guest on the show. So can we see your ID before we get started? Oh, my gosh. Well, welcome, everybody. I see we got comments coming in. Dorn says rum in the coffee. Yeah. Oh, James, Jeff, Patrick, welcome everybody. Gabriel, awesome. We're excited you guys are here. Nick, what's been going on in New York?
I mean, a lot. I got tonight. I'm scheduled to go see the visual submersive Van Gogh experience type thing. I guess.
Oh
there.
yeah,
you seen the ads for that?
Yeah, they do it here at a place called Area 15, but we haven't been yet.
Area 51. You mean?
No, it's called Area 15. 15.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. But on work related stuff, just been networking a lot. Meeting up with people, just kind of forcing myself to get out there a little more. I had a really cool meeting with somebody who used to work for Adidas, one of their higher ups in marketing that I talked a lot about branding and stuff with. It was really insightful. And he was actually interested in what we're going to talk about today, which is SEO. I mean, these bigger brands, it's interesting. I would consider us, everybody here and on this call, not just the three of us, but more like guerrilla marketers. You know what I mean? And I was telling him that, you went to a college and you went to school and you had this big corporate upbringing in the marketing world, but that has not been my experience. That's not been Tom's experience or Paul.
No.
But it's interesting to talk to somebody that has that experience and get their perspective, because it's very much different than ours, which is usually we got to figure out how to make cash as fast as possible. That's that's what our experience has been, right? We're trying to find clients ASAP. So it was interesting to talk with him about that. And I mean, it's very relevant because that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, awesome. How many people were on the training that we did with Paul on Wednesday? Stick a one in the chat box there.
I recognize some names for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we had an awesome training with Paul, and you're here towards the end of the live. We'll drop the replay link so you guys can go see it. But Paul went into a lot of detail about his process and what he does and what's working now and all that stuff. It's pretty much I guess it's really a complete revamp, right, Paul?
Yeah. There's quite a lot going on there, and it was it was nice because we were working with a lot of clients when that whole change took place. So we kind of had the real in the trenches data to navigate through it, which is kind of scary at the time, of course, because you've got stuff on the line. But at the same time, I've been doing this for so long. It's like, I kind of like the fun of adapting and figuring things out and, adapting to the changes, and you're either going to adapt or die, right? And sometimes it kills off competition. So that's good too.
Yeah, well, maybe we can start with that. Maybe you can tell people on the live, like, what are some of the biggest changes, the things that they really need to be aware of when it comes to, and well, maybe we need to take a step back. Nick, maybe we need to talk about the difference between organic and what we're talking about here with local SEO. Maybe let's talk about that first, and then we can talk about some of the shift and the changes. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, over to you guys.
All right, see you guys later. All right, here, let's all right, see you later. See you later, Tom. No. It's good stuff. So as a lot of you know, everybody, all three of us, we're highly interested in SEO. Everybody's got their own perspective, and you'll find a lot of people that are very interested in SEO will have different strategies and different methods of doing things. Some people will be very strong in using video to help rank their sites. Some people will be very content focused. Some people will be super backlink focused, right? That means going out, creating backlinks, either black hat, gray hat, white hat, whatever hat you want to wear. Mm-hmm. But that could be your skill set, right? Maybe you're like creating a link farm or a PBN network or something like that to build your links. So for me, I would consider myself a content focused SEO, like on page and content SEO. Paul, I think, is very much into the maps, like very heavy, very strong into maps, which is what Tom mentioned, like what's the difference between maps and organic? And I'll hand that one over to you, Paul.
Yeah. So the map pack it's a 3-pack that shows up when you search for a local related keyword. And it really stands out across everything else. If you've ever searched for a restaurant, a plumber, like whatever, any type of local business owner, you've seen it before. And it was Neil Patel on his blog posted that it gets 44% of the total clicks. So it really, really stands out. And there it is right there on the screen and grabs the clicks. And the nice part is I like to call this the cheat code to SEO, because you need a local address in order to get in that map pack, which is both good and bad, right? It's bad because if you're not there locally, then you have to figure out how to get an address. And usually I recommend you use the client's address. You try and get a client, use their address so that everything is legit. But on the plus side is that we're no longer competing nationally against national companies now. And that means that our competition now is usually these mom and pop shops that they're busy running their business. They're not really that all focused on the SEO, and especially in a lot of niches. Some niches that can be true, some it's not. Some of the niches, they're hiring SEO pros like us, but in other niches, it's pretty untapped. You can go and you can hop in there and do some optimization and secure one of those top 3 spots and suck up all the clicks that Google has there, which is nice.
Yeah, and you can, generally, just so all of you know, like this map pack, this is the section that I'm, circling here, and that Paul is talking about. It's a lot quicker to rank here than here. This lower part here is like what they call the organic top 10, right? So it's interesting because it's easier to rank here in the map pack. But if you rank here in the map pack, it will also help you to rank in the organic top 10. They're kind of connected. Correct, yeah. In a sense, But the things that it takes to rank in local in this little map pack section, it actually doesn't really the same things that you would do, like add some of your location information to all of your content, your website, right? Like the way that you get in here is really letting Google know that you're from a specific location, right? That could mean instead of just being a SEO expert, you're a SEO expert from Maui, right? So as long as you add that relevance in there, in lots of different ways, that's how you kind of tie into that. But it's generally a lot easier to get into the maps. Wouldn't you say, Paul?
I would. I noticed something on your screen right there, which is kind of an interesting topic to bring up. Look at the number 3 result. Not paying attention to the ad, but the number 3. Look at the company name, Roofing Contractors and Roofing Company.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys wanted to, I could tell you a really interesting strategy would be, I'm talking about going after low-hanging fruit, right?
Wait, who wants it?
yeah. Let's get some interaction first.
Yeah. Let's get some engagement. Let's get some. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Paul.
Someone might get a good client out of this, but so they're obviously gaming the algorithm right there, right? Their keyword stuffing in their business name, right? So you could go to the number 4 business, strike a deal with them to work with them, Goldenberg Roofing right now, strike a deal to work with them, and you could go and suggest an edit on the number 3 since they keyword stuffed their name and get their name changed to whatever it's supposed to be. And that's going to derank them and probably bump your client up top into the 3rd spot.
Hold on.
So these are things I look for when I'm
sneaky.
Wow. All right.
There's lots of opportunities like that out there in apps.
Let's unpack that for a second. Did everybody just hear what Paul just said? And I mean, it's kind of a mind-blowing thing, right? Because let me back it up. This person here, if you can see in the bottom listing here, their title, their business name, according to Google, is Roofing Contractors and Roofing Company, which is considered keyword stuffing, right, Paul?
Correct, yeah.
And so that's against Google's terms of service?
Correct.
So if you were, let's say, let's click in more businesses, right? So these 2 are ads right here. Then we have 1, 2, 3. And if your client was Goldenberg Roofing, right? Like you mentioned that one, Paul.
Yep.
You could go to this listing right here and you could click on suggest and edit. And you could let Google know that this location is keyword stuffing and their actual business name is, I don't know, if we go to their website, they don't even have.
They're just a lead. It looks like they're just a lead gen company.
They're just like a lead gen type site.
And not a very, wow, what a great looking website.
That's actually the Google business profile website.
It is.
Comes,
yeah.
Okay.
You can see that here. So you could report them and they could actually potentially get deranked, giving your client, if you're, Goldenberg or any other roofer, higher chance in the map pack. It's very interesting.
By doing nothing, basically.
Right. It's very interesting.
Well, what would be interesting about that is let's say you go to Goldberg Roofing and you say, hey, I would like to bring you guys on as a client, but I want to just show you what I can do. Right. So look here. I know you're not on the first page here. Then you could do that. Right. They would ideally get bumped up to number 3 and be like, look, I got you on the first page, like right off the bat. That's great. That's great.
You obviously want to use that ethically, right? That's not something you want to, to go and just do because you'll get in trouble for that. But, that was a real legit scenario, and I'm glad we could see a live example of it. I have a whole module about that inside of my training course, actually. But that's one of the things we do that we look for when we're auditing these different, niches for our clients.
What do you mean though? What do you mean you could get in trouble for that though?
Well, if you suggested an edit wrongly, you
want to make sure it's a legitimate thing that you're you just want to go do that to random people.
Correct. You don't want to use it.
I got you. Yeah. Look, see, I'm so clean that didn't even occur to me. I'm so pure and innocent. That didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, don't let us corrupt.
Nick was probably all over that though. He was probably like, dude, I got 10 clients. We're in.
Well, actually, I'm kind of interested about everybody here. Who give me a 1 if you have a pin on the map for your business, and give me a 2 if you don't. Curious for your agency, do you have a pin on your own? I can tell you right now that I do for my agency. I have a pin on the map, right, and I optimize my listing. If you open an incognito window, or actually I'm going to open up a Firefox browser here because the way I have Firefox set up is so that it's not caching at all. So, if I do a search, it doesn't have any history, right? And if I go to Google and I type in Maui SEO, you can see that I have the number 1 and 2 spot. And according to this search, this guy has me overtaken in maps right now. But I'm here in number 3. So I have a pin, right?
I don't see your screen.
Huh? Oh,
hold on. I'm going to add your screen to the stream.
Whoops. Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry about that. So yeah, real quick recap. I just searched for Maui SEO, right? And you can see me at the top here. This when the organic top 10 is ranking above the map, it's kind of a
that's really
bonus.
good.
Yeah. That's a little bonus there. But
you don't see that often, by the way.
Yeah, it's actually definitely not having 2 spots as well above the map, right?
It's really good.
Like, yeah. And so, but what I wanted to point out here is like my business has a pin, right? We have a location here on the map. And that is where I started in my SEO journey too, right? Like that's place number 1. Like if you don't have a pin on the map for your agency, or if you're a business client, potential client doesn't have a pin on the map, then this is where to start. This is always where it starts. So I saw that a lot of people have a pin. A lot of people don't have a pin, which is surprising. And I think this question just came up, you know, a lot of the reasons that people don't, or one of the big reasons that people don't have a pin is because they don't have an address, right? They don't have to they don't have that physical address to verify that you actually have a pin. So maybe, could you tell people how to get the pin there for a second, Paul?
Yeah, well, number 1, you can use your home address. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's my home address, by the way.
Everybody. Yeah, so go for that.
Or my old home address. I've never changed it because I didn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can do another one with your new one
right.
for something else. But yeah, so your home address, I mean, that's the best way to get started, to kind of get your feet wet and get into the game. Friend's address, that's fine too. There are some, I guess I'll call them gray hat. I don't really consider them black hat, but there's some gray hat ways. Cameron mentioned he's got a PO box verified, which is unique because Google does not like the PO boxes, but there are loopholes around it. If you register to use like the mailing address as the street address instead of a post box, some post offices will let you do that. I actually have a few that do that. But there are some other strategies where you can go and look for mailbox rentals. I wouldn't recommend things like UPS store. That one got pretty saturated. But there are like laundromats, storage units, pack and ship stores that offer these mailbox rentals. And the key is that you don't want to put like private mailbox 123 as your address. You want to just put like the #, like number 123 for your address, so that it looks like a regular, you know, like suite unit or something like that. And then a lot of people have success paying people, you know, posting in Marketplace or on Craigslist or one of those classified sites and just saying, you know, hey, do you want to make some money? We're looking to establish a marketing presence in the area, and we need to create a physical presence there. And if you let us use your address, we'll give you $25 to let you use your address and verify our listing. So that works too. We have a lot of students that go that route too.
And so what requires to verify your listing, everybody, is you put you register your business in Google, right? And then to verify your business is correct and at that location, they're going to mail you a postcard, physical postcard with a number, and then you need to verify that in Google. Yeah. Another thing you can do too, though, is after you do that, you don't have to have your actual address being shown. You can do what I think Jacqueline has done, which is she has a service-based business. Yeah, Jacqueline. Service-based business that operates within a specific area. And that isn't going to be, or I think this is a debatable topic, but that's not quite as powerful as having a pin on the map. What do you think, Paul?
It depends on the niche. What we do is we start with an audit process where we see what is moving the needle. Like in your niche, I noticed something else is moving the needle. I won't say what it is because I don't want people to compete with you, but there's certain things that will move the needle more than others, right? Yeah. And I mean, sometimes showing your address can definitely move the needle a lot.
But yeah. Paul, you can share whatever that is with me in private chat, right?
Yeah.
so I can knock Nick off of there. Get a little, you just pop that over. I'd appreciate that. Hey, one thing I wanted to say real quick, Nick, before you jump in, is about the UPS boxes. So we had a UPS box that we used for a rank and rent site in Kihei, and we never had any issues with it. I think because Kihei is just such a small town, right? But interestingly enough, UPS just sent out a thing recently that now you have to add basically not PO box, but it was what was the term they used, Nick? Do you remember?
PMB probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So like, I don't think you would be able to use those anymore anyway, because they're adding that to it. Maybe to keep that stuff from happening. But
yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
But I want to circle back though to Jacqueline, because I didn't want to scare her. Just because you do have a service-based business area set up for your business, there's nothing wrong with that. I was just kind of making the mention that like sometimes that if you have a pin could be stronger than not having a pin. However, having a service-based business with a service area is better than having no listing at all. So if you have no listing at all and you don't want your address to be shown online, then go ahead and do the service-based business route. Like, then that's fine, right? That's a great place to start. And to be completely honest, like Paul said, like it's not a guarantee which one is going to be the stronger route for you and your industry and where you're located. That's the thing with SEO is like, there's no actual like set guidelines in Google, right? There's not like some checklist that Google put out somewhere that says like, do all these things and you're going to be ranking #1, or you're going to have good SEO. They don't actually want you to know how to optimize for their search engine. Don't you think, Paul?
That's true. There are hints that are kind of hidden in plain sight, but yeah, they actively will actually tell you. We're not going to tell you, even though they kind of do. But yeah, I would say I definitely wouldn't be afraid of, the whole service-based business area thing. It's definitely a niche and location by location type of situation anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole thing is just like testing stuff, right? If you want to do search engine optimization, it's all about testing. You never know until you try. What were you going to say, Tom?
Oh, I was just going to, it doesn't matter. We can talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
It's not really related to what you guys were talking about, but it just occurred to me. Something just hit me and I was like, oh, Paul didn't talk about this on the training. And I was like, we should talk about it, but we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay. We'll get
That's
to
called
that.
an open loop for all you marketers out there.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Somebody just said, Paul, since I'm home based and don't want to show my address, how do I set it up? Yes, you'd set it up as a service-based business. That means like when you go to put your address, it'll give you two options. It'll be like, do you service clients at this address, or do you offer businesses within this set location? Then you can add all the zip codes that you are servicing, and then it'll like put a ring around the map for you.
Which is just purely UI, by the way. It doesn't actually mean you'll rank in those areas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's super interesting.
But you should do it still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we kind of jumped over this, but you've been doing SEO for quite some time. And I think it's important that we talk about that here with everybody, because, there are a lot of people that jump in the SEO realm and talk about doing it and then disappear, especially like product creators, right? They'll come out and like teach people how to do shit and then they'll disappear, which is kind of sketchy, right? But you, on the other hand, I mean, you've been doing SEO for like a long time. How long?
I think I started in like 2007, 2008, but I went full time into it where I like really started getting clients in 2010.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's what I was going to say earlier. Like we kind of just jumped right into this call, like just assuming that everybody knows who Paul is
right
on the live show. And I was like, and then it occurred to me like
they should
during this training, like you didn't talk about you talk about how you used to work at Walmart, right?
In one of my older ones I have, but I didn't.
Yeah, but you did it in the last one, and that's what occurred to me. I was like, oh yeah, nobody really knows how you got started. So I think that might be a good thing.
That's the marketer in me, because I think as a marketer, people don't really care much about me. They only care about what they want to learn. So I just try to dive right in this time.
Yeah. No, it was good. You guys should go watch the training because it was awesome. Paul shared a ton of great stuff, but it just, I find that stuff kind of interesting for me because in my case, I got started very late in life. I didn't start as a teenager like you and Nick. So it's like, I like to hear when other people get a late start too, like it inspires me, right? I feel like, oh, okay, maybe I can actually do this. But like when you started and stuff, like you didn't really know anything about SEO, right? Like you just learned the whole process as you went and all that stuff.
Yeah. I was in nursing school and I was taking a class called Anatomy and Physiology, which is a really tough class. And it's a lot of memorization and stuff. And I tried ranking a blog on that topic, and I found a ClickBank product that sold these like little flashcards that you could study, like if you're in line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
So I ranked a blog for that term, Anatomy and Physiology, and sold these flashcards. And I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. And back then it was so easy. I mean, you could just buy an exact match domain and like it would pop up. You wouldn't even have to put many pages on or anything. But then I discovered the Google Map Pack shortly thereafter. And I got to thinking, this is really powerful. What if I could start to get business owners and do this for them as a service? And it just exploded from there.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, I have a similar story, right? Like I ranked this website on how to take surveys online, and I got paid CPAs every time people click links. The difference for me was I could never get it past $100 a month, and I didn't have the time to scale. So I just like let it die off. And then one day somebody was like, hey, you should do this for local businesses. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
you said something there, Paul, where about like the progress that kind of stuck out to me, and some of the changes, right? The exact match domain changes. And I think that is really where we are at right now, right? Like we're at this big change, this kind of pivotal moment here with Google. And it's what we talked about the other day on the training. And anytime I see a change like this, I mean, I am keeping my eyes peeled for these types of changes. Like for us, these changes are good. And as people in the Offline Sharks community, they all well and know that, because every time, Google comes out with a speed update, or you're going to get penalized for not having a secure website, or there's a change to their Google platform, their business platform, and people need to move somewhere else. What are we all, I mean, do we all hear cash register noises going off in the background? Like this is opportunity. This is opportunity for all of us to, just do what we do, right? Like have this chance where we are in the market space and we see a change, and now we are the bridge from our customers and prospects to that change because they're busy running their business. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that change that's going on right now.
Yeah. So basically it's a huge rebrand over to the Google Business Profile, and they just did away with Google My Business entirely. And I think really the biggest thing is that they're trying to put things in the hands of the consumer a lot more, allowing business owners to go in and update their listing straight from the search results, rather than having to have like this big dashboard and stuff. Now the dashboard is still there, right? And you can still use it, but we're utilizing it a little bit differently than we were in the past. For example, I'm trying not to interlink all my clients together anymore, because if one client gets something penalized, it affects all of them now, which is a big deal. So I'm trying to separate that stuff out. That's one big change. Another big change is activity. Google is really, really wanting to see that you're active, almost like social media. I'm treating this now like social media. If you're not, answering questions, responding to reviews, posting, this stuff makes a big deal. It's a big difference. Even just logging into the profile will help.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, and that really is a subtle shift. But now that you mention it, they really have been changing the before formerly known Google My Business platform to have these different social elements, right? You can like reviews, you can respond to reviews, you can make posting, you can respond to posting, you can share posts, all from within your Google page. You can have a chat feature, so you can chat directly with a Google page. So they really have been making this shift toward, I don't know, I call it a Web 2.0 if you want, right? Like having the ability to interact with it. And so the other thing, I guess that is interesting that you mentioned there that I was kind of news to me was that inactivity element. I saw on your training about how there's a potential. Is this like confirmed? If you're an inactive GMB account, you're potentially going to become like unclaimed or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that is what it was posted on Search Engine Land. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up here, but yeah, it was from Search Engine Land, and I mean it's been nothing new about them removing unclaimed listings, but yeah, activity is becoming on the forefront now of actually even bumping your listing down to being unclaimed. So it is important that you are remaining active. And it's also an opportunity, like with this question and answer section, the reviews, responding to them, it's opportunity to be ranking for other terms, sticking keywords in there. So.
And you can add that. I mean, that to me, like, makes a better case for people. Like, it seems to like kind of like solidify an offer of a monthly charge to manage their Google My Business even more, because if you're more active and the client sees that, like, it's more apparent that you're doing stuff. Right?
100%. And that kind of brings us to another thing too. One of the other big changes is that, back, I don't know, even a few years ago, I would say when I was doing this stuff and working with clients, it didn't so much matter where you were searching from as much as it does nowadays. Now where you're searching from is a big deal, and you can still establish that proximity via digitally by, posting stuff that is in that area. If you're trying to rank better by a Brewer stadium here in Milwaukee, you could write an article about the Milwaukee Brewers and establish that, relevancy and proximity and stuff to that area, prominence.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because when I just searched for my business, right, from the maps, there was that guy that was overtaking me in the maps. But that's really because I feel like I'm here in New York. I'm searching out of New York, right? Like if you were in Hawaii searching for my business, that guy wouldn't be at the top like that. Just saying, I mean, I would guess. But the point I'm trying to make is really that does have to do with proximity. Proximity is a very big ranking factor that we've seen in our agency too, working with clients. It's one of the reasons why we do press releases every couple of months, right? It's one of the reasons why we do citation building and those things every so often. And, I think for people that aren't familiar with actually doing search engine optimization, they may be a little scared to hear some of these terms, right? Like citations, like what the heck's a citation? What the heck's a press release? That's that sounds pretty massive. But it's not, it's really not, right? Because you can have, and I know this, if you have somebody that you follow that has experience and you can see what they're doing, like if they're doing case studies or regularly testing, that information is the information that you want to use to implement for yourself. And if you just have access to that information, that's where you really start to get traction in this. It speeds up
the testing, like you were talking about earlier. I mean, sure, you can sit there and test all day, but if you have someone who's already done that can kind of shortcut that for you, I mean, it's just a massive, massive time saver.
Yeah, and it's true. It's because like we said, right? Google doesn't have a standard, a best practices. They do have a best practices, but they don't have like a standard for SEO, right? There's no like Google University that teaches you how to do SEO. So really you have to get your information from somebody that is doing SEO. And that's really the only way to like figure out if you're trying to shortcut your success. Otherwise you could go out there and kind of do it on your own.
Not only do they not teach it, but they deliberately keep things from you so you can't figure it out. Right? Like they don't just come out and say like, oh yeah, hey, this is what you do. Like they deliberately and so unless you're doing it, unless you're working on a website or a business or testing different things out, you never really know what is going on. Right?
That's a good point. Yeah. We've got a lot of really good questions coming in, and maybe we should take some of them. Go ahead.
Well, real quick, we do have to do the shout outs and our member of the week. So I was thinking about it. Yeah, I know. We just started talking and we were having such a good time. So maybe we should do that real quick. That way we can just kind of take questions and we don't have to feel the pressure to do that. How's that sound to you guys?
And we can go back and get all the questions that are kind of in there because I see that there
So
are
if you have questions for Paul, start putting them in. We're going to do the shout outs real quick and then we'll come back and we'll answer those questions. So
we have some massive shout outs too. I mean,
we do have some really good ones. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen.
Like last night, I was going through social media and I was like, damn, this is win after win after win right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot. So every week, what we like to do is just shout out people that have closed deals, that have collected checks or the marketing services. We do one interesting thing around this, which is if you head over to offlinesharks.com/shoutouts right here, you'll find this post. And if you leave a comment on the post, letting them know, good job, way to go, awesome work, then we will come back to that at the very end and we'll give away some Cash App money. So, all right, our shout outs. Oh, here, I'll just leave this up while we're doing that. And then, okay, so our first shout out goes to Marvin. So Marvin sold lead bubble videos to 2 restaurants, $99 setup plus $49 a month recurring. That's freaking awesome. Like, that's awesome. Awesome. Way to go. Oh, here, some applause. Way to go, Marvin. Way to go. Let's see. Carissa had a couple of sales this week. She did a graphic design, 170. It was an Instagram template packages for 45. Shopify store design and product upload, 187, plus a Shopify store design with drop shipping capability, 250. Congratulations, Carissa. That's awesome. Devendra upsold Google Business Profile setup to the website client he landed last week for another $100.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Right
Yeah.
there.
Exactly what we're talking about. Yep. Let's see. Jacqueline, our friend from across the pond, she took on another client, 180 pounds a month, which is $240 US, which now brings her monthly income to around $1,500 a month.
Nice.
Recurring. Awesome work, Jacqueline.
Really good.
Let's see. We've got Jocelyn Wing. Jocelyn officially joined the Six Figures Club. She reported making over 110,000 this year. I saw this post. It was awesome to see this from Jocelyn. So we had Jocelyn on for like a hot seat one time, and she was just like made enough money to take her family on a vacation to Disney. Wasn't it Disney, Nick? Anyway, It's just awesome to watch her grow and cross that mark. So congratulations, Jocelyn. Jill Ashton took on 2 clients who will be paying 50 pounds a month for 12 months. So that's $67 US. 2 new websites, 1,500 pounds, combined with another 2 from the same client for 2,000 pounds. So that's like $19.93 and $26.57 US. Congratulations, Jill. That's awesome. Yeah, fantastic. And then our own Mr. Nick Ponte closed a $5,000 client with a big portion of the monthly retainer to be spent on SEO.
Yeah, that was
Awesome.
a great call. Yep, I recorded the whole thing too. So
Yeah, and just so you guys know, if you were wondering, that is that's $11,212 in done deals, money collected by 6 of the 7 sharks. So that brings our grand total to $421,777. In the last 3 months, in the last 3 months, our sharks have brought in $162,810, which you can just send 10% of that to Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte. Just put Maui; they'll know where we're at. It's so small there; they'll find us.
yeah, those are like NFT launch numbers already.
Yeah.
That's the effort and the work that our sharks put in. Right? They follow our strategies. They collect those checks. Really awesome to see that. Really, really exciting.
Massive.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Let's do here real quick. We're going to do our member of the week, and then we're going to do our question. So, we also like to acknowledge our member of the week, right? So we pick somebody out who's a good steward of our community, and we send them a special Shark swag box. And this week's member of the week, should get a drum roll, is, here we go, Santa Claus. Congratulations, Saint Nick. There's somebody there with him. Jocelyn Wing. She's our member of the week. Congratulations, Jocelyn. That's awesome. Way to go.
Heck yeah.
Fantastic.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, Jocelyn is actually in our Remote Millionaires program. She's doing really awesome in there. She's a Shark Alliance member. She's been with us for a long time. I say a long time, probably like a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's been with us for a year, and in that time, she went from zero revenue. I don't even think she had any clients when we first encountered her. Right?
she had a couple of clients. She was doing some web design stuff, but yeah, it was a really big shift to start doing some residual stuff too.
Yeah, and now she crossed the 100,000 mark. So congratulations, Jocelyn. Somebody from the team will reach out to get you your swag box. We really need an award, Nick. That 6-figure mark award. We need a 6-figure mark award.
Oh yeah, we should. It's a treasure chest too. It's not a swag box.
What are they? What is semantics, Nick?
Semantics. Hey,
semantics.
everybody, if you could, tag Jocelyn and congratulate her. That's a pretty big milestone, right? Hitting the 6-figure mark.
That's really good.
Huge.
I mean, we talk about that here all the time. Like, one of the goals and some of the marketing that we have is especially the path to 6 figures, right? The path to 6 figures is how we teach somebody to go from 0, or maybe they have a little bit of income going, but to get to 6 figures. And, the three of us, Tom and Paul and myself, I think we all would agree that the first 6 figures is the most difficult to make. Like finding that traction, finding your speed, your discipline, your habits, all that stuff can be the most difficult to do. And once you get there, it's actually easier to get to 200, 300, 400, because now it's just about like systemizing and getting those reps in. So yeah, if everybody could congratulate her, that really is a massive milestone. And hey, we help people get successful around here, don't we, Tom?
We do, yeah. And maybe Shushan, maybe we make a note. We should do like up a special graphic and make a special post in the Facebook group just for Jacqueline hitting the 6-figure mark, because Nick is right. That's a big celebration moment. It deserves more than just a mention on the Friday live show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. Okay, Nick, do you have some questions in there?
Yeah, so let's circle back around to some of our questions here. Let me pull them up. And again, if you have any questions, SEO related, client getting related, you have some people that are pretty thick into the SEO world, and we're happy to answer them all with you right now. So let's see. And if you could help me look for them too.
Yeah,
Tom, I know we kind of went up.
It's so funny. I was driving yesterday, and I looked to my right, and there was a pest control truck, and Santa was driving it. So I took a picture and texted it to my kids. I was like, "Look who I'm next to."
That's funny.
Oh my gosh! Hold on, I got to get past all the comments.
Somebody said, "Paul, is it still possible to see what GMB pages haven't been claimed yet?" It's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually show you how to do that on that training that we did the other day.
Yep. Yeah, there's some automation tools to make it really easy too.
There are some automation tools out there.
Here's a good question, because I think this is interesting. How do you guys kind of position when you're talking to clients, Paul? Like, do you use the word SEO? How do you like?
That's a good question.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So we've been using the term inbound marketing agency, because SEO just kind of leaves a bad taste in business owners' mouth now.
Yeah.
I don't really, I usually like ask in my calls, like if I'm doing a sales call or something like that, I will be like, are you familiar with like ranking higher in Google? Do you know what that does? Do you know what that is? And based off of like their response, I'll speak in different terms. If it's somebody that doesn't know SEO, I will never talk about SEO, because all they really want to hear about is getting more clients or getting more customers, right? So in that situation, it's, we have marketing strategies that will help you get more customers through Google. So it's a little longer, but that's really what they want. They don't care how you do it. If you're going to do search engine optimization and uploading site maps with robot text and all that stuff, like they don't care about all that, right? You're just losing them in the weeds. And then if somebody does have a little bit of knowledge about SEO, then I'm okay with saying, SEO, because they're familiar with it. So it's a little different.
Yeah, here's a good one. Does using a tracking number as the main number mess up citations?
That's a good question.
As long as you leave your client's regular phone number as a secondary phone number and then put your tracking phone number as the primary, it will not mess up citations. That's the way I recommend you do it. If you take their phone number out entirely, it will mess up citations.
Wow. So you're saying like when you build the citations, you would use a primary or like an office and a mobile, or a primary and a secondary?
No, on the actual business profile, there's a spot to add more than one phone number. Gotcha. So you just add a new phone number, but you put the tracking phone number as the primary. So that's the one that's going to show up, and you take their phone number and bump it down to one of the secondary ones. And then you just don't touch the citations at all.
I see. So you don't lose that connection there.
Yeah, correct.
Wow. That is a freaking hack, everybody. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And,
yeah, it's a really good one.
And I can tell you that we've done a lot of citation cleanups, right? Because it can be a royal pain in the butt to have to go clean up 600 citations, right? To go just change an address in 600 different websites.
We just did one. I think I talked to you about it like 2 weeks ago, right? I was asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had this big citation cleanup to do. Not fun.
It's not fun, but that's a pretty ninja hack there. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
Maybe you can say what it is again, just so people are clear on it. I know they can go back and watch the thing, but you're saying you add the phone number, then make their real number the secondary?
Yeah. So when you go into the business profile, there is a spot to add more than one phone number. So you're going to add more than one phone number, but you're going to make their phone number the second one that shows up, and then you're tracking the first. Yeah.
Then you don't have to change anything on the citations, right? Yeah,
correct. Yep. Yeah. That's the point of it, so that you don't have to.
Perfect.
Because otherwise, you'd have to go through and change. If they have 100 citations, you'd have to go through and change them all, and that's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. April says, "Why does the own this business link show up on a GMB page when it's already owned?"
Because it's now a two-step process. So you'll have to actually click that first, and then you'll see whether or not it's really owned or not. It'll give you the opportunity to either claim it or request access to it. And if it's requesting access to it, that means someone else already has it. If it's giving you the ability to take it over and claim it, that means it's unclaimed.
And April, one of the things that we do on the training that we're going to drop a link for in a minute that you should review is we actually walk you through the process and explain the differences between the two. And the reason, for those of you that don't know, finding these businesses that have listing that isn't claimed, that is, like I said earlier, the best place to start finding people that need SEO, right? Because if they have a pin on the map, they should be claimed. So that's why April is asking this question, to find these types of prospects easier, because they're very high value, right? If you find somebody that needs a claimed listing or an unclaimed listing, then you can swoop in and I mean, Paul's strategy to bring them on as a paying customer is really what we talked about the other day. So stick with us for the link for that.
56% of businesses also have not even claimed their listing yet. So there's a lot of opportunity out there.
That's crazy. Why do it's interesting to me how Google will collect information, right? Because that's what they do. They collect information and then they put it all into their database, and then they give people these pins on the map, right? They're like aggregating, they're giving you a pin on the map. So is that how they show up there without your consent, really?
So yeah, that is how it has been in the past. But I think also now it's that new thing that we talked about where they're actually unverifying listings too that haven't been active. So I think now it's a mix of them both. You go and pull a permit or a license for a business. They go and buy that data and then create a PIN for you. But then there's also the people who have been inactive for a while and they unverify them. So now we got, the combination of the two, I think.
Yeah. And there's one more piece of that too, where people can now, like, let's say I go to a restaurant down the street and I go and I have a great time, right? And I want to leave them a review and I go looking for them and they're not there. Can't you make a suggestion that there's a business here and add its name? Like it says I forgot what it says. Add a missing place. Look, it's right here on my screen.
It's really funny.
Right here.
Yeah.
So places get added just by virtue of someone going there and not having a place at all.
It's funny. I added Paul James Island on my lake. Someone got mad and removed it eventually, but it was up there for a couple of years.
That's great.
Oh, that's great. Somebody wanted to know, Paul, the article on Search Engine Land that was the news about the inactive profiles. When was that released? Do you know?
That was not released today, but the headline of it was Google says it may unverify inactive local business listings.
Okay. Hope you got that. Jacqueline wanted to know what GeoGrid tool you use.
There's so many of them. Right now I'm using one called Surfer Local, and it's by the guys who make Surfer SEO or Keyword Surfer, if you've ever used them before. But
we were just talking about Surfer SEO.
Okay. Yeah, so I love them. I'm using that one. That one's kind of on the newer side, but there's a lot out there. Local Falcon is one you can use and get started with for free. They give you like a free trial. So I would recommend probably starting there if it's your first time dealing with the GeoGrids. That way you're not having to stick money into something else right away.
Awesome.
By the way, all this stuff is stuff that Paul goes over through Maps Mentor, just so you know, in even greater detail. So
yeah, absolutely.
If you're looking for like a all-inclusive way to have basically access to exactly what Paul would do, like the step-by-step, then you're going to want to check out. Might be a good time to put the link on the screen there now, Tom.
Okay, well, I do want to here. We'll get back to this question. So, because somebody asked this question, and I was going to ask it before we put the link up, but somebody wanted to know this, so I thought maybe you could. Oh, whoops! Hold on, let me fix this. Hold on. So here we go. Okay, and the answer to that, where did it go?
I don't know.
Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Is the special offer plus the bonus is still available for us hungry sharks? Tell you what, I had to put on a Christmas sweater earlier.
You did, didn't you? I knew it.
I did. I put it. Didn't you see the pictures in Slack?
Oh, I got.
Anyway, it got me a little on the Christmas shirt. So I tell you what, we will make sure anybody who's on here now, if you go there, go watch the training. If you pick up the offer, we'll make sure you get all the bonuses. So yeah, and they're pretty awesome. So you might want to get it just for the bonuses.
They are good.
These pictures are pretty amazing, Tom.
Yeah, I said when Paul was doing the training, somebody asked about adding something or something like that, and I was like, "What the heck? Nick's not here to stop me. Let's do it."
Yeah, that was funny.
Can't keep me in line. So yeah. Anyway, there's the link. It's offlinesharks.com/Google secret. Just pull it up. Wait, when this is over, we're going to be done here in a few minutes. You can head over there and watch that. But the training is awesome. The interaction, the questions, all that stuff is great. We did throw in a couple of extra bonuses that you can't get anywhere else. You guys will love those. And I mean, I don't know, Paul. I mean, I don't want to give away all the details of this, but I mean, this is like, for what they're getting just for the training alone, for what you put in there. I mean, the price you charge for this is really, really like
it's pretty low. Like after we started talking about this,
I mean, I don't want that. I don't want to say honestly, that to ding it, but like,
I think you should raise the price.
I think so too. Yeah.
But it's a really good deal. It's a really good deal.
So full disclosure, everybody, after we did our training and everything, and it was clearly a no-brainer because pretty much everybody joined. And I was messaging Paul, and I told him about how many people joined, and we were like, okay, well, it's probably a steal for everybody that joined. So you'll definitely want to go check it out right now. Because obviously, we're just going to keep it the same for. I mean, how long are we going to keep this open, Tom?
I think Sunday, maybe Sunday or Monday. Or maybe it's Saturday. Hold on, I got to look.
Yeah. And we also threw in a little bonus for everybody that doesn't know. You'll definitely. I
wouldn't dilly-dally around on it because it's only a couple. Like today's Friday, so it's only going to be open for a day or two longer. So.
Yeah.
You guys threw in an awesome automation bonus. So for those of you guys who are, you don't like to do things manually, you definitely want to check that out. I would call it a huge bonus.
Yeah, it's a killer one. Somebody says they purchased last night, going through everything today. Training is legit great. Glad that I got into it at the low price point. Somebody else joined. If you did join, you will be getting the bonus. The bonuses should be in your Teachable account already. And if you're looking for the bonus from Tom and Nick, that should have been emailed to you as well. So look for the email from me because I did send those out. But you can always hit up my support desk too, which is pauljames.com/support if you didn't get any bonuses and you need to get access to them. And we'll definitely get them to you. Nice. Somebody said summarize the benefits. I'm gonna give you my take on that, and I'm gonna pass it over to Paul just because. So the benefits, just in general, I'm gonna go general because search engine optimization is clearly something that we love. It's a service that we love to offer. So here's why I like it. Number one, you can sell it as a recurring service, right? So that $5,000 invoice that we got paid the other day, a big portion of that is going to SEO. But we also have, I want to say, around $25,000 a month that people are paying each month for search engine optimization. This means that we have their credit card on file, and on the same day, at the same time of every single month, we're billing at least $1,000 a month. That's what we charge, $1,000 a month. Sure, that might be a little high for some people. Maybe you start at $500 a month. That's fine too. But it's a service that you can sell multiple times to the same person. It's very rewarding to offer that service, because when you can lift a business up higher in Google and they get more business out of it, you become like their they become your biggest fan. They love you. They email you, they message you, and they're like, man, it's just, I don't know. For me, it's one of the most rewarding things. So number one, there's a big impact. Number two, it's very profitable. And number three, if you have a roadmap, it's not very difficult to do. So that's what I think are the benefits of joining Paul's course.
Yeah, I think that was good. I think also too, if you've avoided SEO in the past because it was just too complicated or you thought it was confusing, this is a good way to get started, where you're, with maps in general, you can get some skin in the game without having to like overcomplicate things. And then I would say also, if it's felt in the past like finding a client has been like finding a needle in a haystack for you, this is going to definitely help a lot with that. So this is something you can do from home or staying behind your computer like I like to do. I'm very introverted, which a lot of people find hard to believe because I'm on camera a lot, but I am very introverted. So I like to stay behind my computer, and this is a method that allows me to do that.
On top of that, it's completely underpriced.
That too. I saw someone said in the comment, they said they bought during the webinar, so you can raise the price now.
Yeah. Wait till this promo's over and then jack it up as much as you want. All right. Well, awesome. Well, it was great stuff, Paul. We really appreciate you taking time to come on and hang out with us. We appreciate all you guys being here as well. Great interaction, great questions. Definitely go over offlinesharks.com/Google Secret. Check out the training. If you have any questions, you can hit up our support, offlinesharks.com/support. We're going to give away some money here in a minute. But I did want to say one other thing, is that next week, next Friday, will be the Offline Sharks Holiday Extravaganza. So do not miss it. Mark your calendar now. Mark your calendar now. It's a crazy show.
It is.
We give away a lot of stuff. Like there's going to be prizes and presents and
costumes.
Who knows what Nick will be dressed like this year? We'll see.
Yeah.
I want to see. It's going to be great.
Myself.
No, come on. No bah humbug. You got to get in the Christmas spirit. He'll do it. I know he'll do it. But it's going to be a really fun show. So make sure you show up for that.
And we're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. So you definitely want to show up for that.
We kind of go a little gift crazy on that show. Yeah. But Paul, any last thing you want to say before we head out of here?
I'm looking forward to, working with everyone who decides to jump in and, at least check out the training that we did, because I think you'll learn a lot from that. And, thanks everyone for watching it. And thank you guys for having me on the show today. It was a good time.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Nick.
Always a good time.
One more thing.
Yes.
You need to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
I think we should turn that shark into an NFT. Paul, what do you think?
Hey.
That's good. I like it.
We can do that. Let's do it. I get my brother to draw some. My brother drew those, Paul.
Yeah, we need to get your brother.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Actually.
We could have him do some other ones.
All right. Well, we're going to circle back around to that a little later. Anyway, we had our shout outs at the beginning of the live stream, everybody. And anyone that congratulated and commented on that post was entered at random to win some Cash App money. And so Shashan picked 2 winners, Russell Prisco and Barbara Golding. You are Cash App winners. So we're going to reach out. We're going to send you some Cash App money just for congratulating our Sharks and being here with us today.
Yeah, congratulations to the winners. Thanks again to everybody for being here. Stay safe this weekend. Paul, really appreciate your time and the training, all that stuff, really great. Make sure you go check out the replay, and we will see you guys here next Friday for the Holiday Extravaganza. You're going to love it. We'll see you then. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly marketing jam session. Always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.